Free until the end, crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up.
What it do? This is your boy. This is the Kikback Podcast show. This is another show, man. This is another day. I'm blessed to hit y'all with, and we got a great show today, man. We got two brothers that I've been really excited the whole week to talk to. They bring a lot of fresh ideas. I like them personality because I like to do research on people, so I like them personality wise, and I like their mission. I like what their direction is. So I was really excited to, you know what I'm saying, do this show on this Saturday. And I'm very humbled that they actually came on the show Saturday to do it, to take time out their day to do this. But before I get one thing started, shout outs to BU for winning the championship. That was remarkable. Also shout out to Adult Time Drinks. They got these little drinks for sale, you know, $5, $7. This is a $7 drink. I don't know what's in it, but it looked real potent and it's real icy. It tastes good too. $7. Adult Time Drinks. Hit up my boy Pastor Palmer. Robert, I don't think you know that pastor.
I don't know that one.
Pastor Palmer. Hit up Pastor Palmer. I'm gonna tag his Facebook or whatever after the show if y'all want some of these Adult Time Drinks, which is the show that's sponsored by. So it's sponsored by that. But I thank y'all for joining the show, guys. Man, how y'all doing?
Man, I'm great.
Doing good, brother. Appreciate you having us.
Just living.
Yeah, Rob. Like I was talking to you earlier, Rob. Man, that shirt looking dope, man.
Yeah, man. You know, I try. It ain't the Kikback clothing, but it look good.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I don't hate, man. Yo, shout out to everybody that's been rocking and buying the Kikback clothing, man. I really appreciate y'all's support, man. And y'all go ahead and share this show too. Yo, Rob, how old are you? You look young, man. You looking real young.
Man, I'm 29. Man, before I hit 25, I had a lot of people telling me I still look 16. So at least telling me I look over 21 now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, you look like you could be like 22, 23 at the most.
I'll take that because when I hit 60, I'll still look like I'm in my 30s, you know.
Yeah, my dad, he's 60 something. He looked like he about 50, 45. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm all the same way.
Yeah, still fly. Joe, man, how you been? How you been today?
Good, man. Been chilling a little bit, trying to, work on my fitness, trying to get down to my hooping weight, So, just
BU inspired you?
They inspired me, bro. You know what I mean? Watching The Last Dance. I got one ball. I got a ball around here somewhere. I got the ball over here at my desk. I'm trying to get back down to my hooping weight. I done went on Amazon and got me a goal. I'm trying to get back right, man.
Got the knee pads and stuff like that.
Got you and knee pad, braces.
Yeah.
Ice on deck, because gonna need that.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you stretch too, man.
Hey, gotta stretch, man. Gotta stretch.
Oh, okay. Corey Crenshaw, he's shouting y'all out. He say, both these great men have my full support.
Appreciate it. Much love, brother Corey Crenshaw, man. Good dude right there. Yeah, keep the dice rolling in our community, and that's good, man. You gotta keep things keep things moving, man. He's big in that. You don't let it get stagnant. So I can appreciate Corey Crenshaw big time.
Corey be keeping Facebook spicy, man.
Spicy. Pull no punches.
He be tagging me and stuff. I be like, man, Corey, chill out, man. I don't got money like you.
Corey gets you in trouble in the classroom too, man.
I'm like, Corey, I don't got money like you, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Just imagine them in the classroom together, though. That's a problem.
Whole teachers,
Hey, so let me get to Rob.
What's up?
What made you want to run for Ward 3, my brother?
Man, just the lack of visibility from our current representation. the stagnation that our ward has been dealing with for quite some time now. I mean, if you look throughout the entire city of Beaumont, even as the city as a whole is progressing, it's the Ward 3 community, the North End, the South End, the avenues, and even downtown that has been stagnant for quite some time now. We're behind as it relates to infrastructure. We're behind as it relates to fair services. Uh, Man, just everything in Ward 3 seems to be lacking as opposed to the other side of town. And so I just feel like it's time that we change. It's time for betterment. It's just time for things to be better in our community.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that because as somebody that I don't live in Ward 3 now, but born and raised in Ward 3, I have family that's still in Ward 3. This definitely has not been progressing since I lived out there. It's actually been degressing.
Right.
And I'm just like you, man. I got a lot of pride from where I'm from. I want people to be great. I want my neighborhood to be great, thriving, black businesses and less crime and all that, and people that care about the community. So I like what you got going on and stuff. So I definitely know some people that already have your vote. I'm not gonna say who that is. I'm not saying it's me, but I talk to people who are already rooting for you and stuff like that. So much love, much success. Hey Joe, why don't you tell people who you are, man? If they don't know who you are already.
Yeah, man. My name is Joe Evans, and I know for the last 10, 11 years I've been a local activist. Everything from trying to get out to vote, trying to register folks to vote, trying to bring some consistency to our political stratosphere here in Southeast Texas. I'm not originally from here, but I've been here for about 16 years. And like I say, once I got settled and my legs under me, and I realized that Beaumont was a good place, and what I saw was a place that was small, but not small in the sense it was just a small town, but it was a place that was big enough or small enough that it had room to grow. So it wasn't a big city, but I could see where it could be, and so like I said, once I got my legs under me, one of my first focuses was the school board. It was hot topic. Things were happening. The state was in the midst of coming in, and so I tried to get appointed back then, but that was my real introduction to politics. And so I've run for office a couple of times. This is really my third time out. But I think when the Lord has a plan for you, you're going to be where He wants you to be, and you can't run from it, you can't hide from it, you can't deny it. And so I'm excited about the prospect of being on the board. At this current juncture, I don't have an opponent, so once again, one more blessing. And so my focus has been on research and trying to just hit the ground running when it's time to go.
Yeah, that's what's up. Oh, you don't have an opponent?
No opponent, no sir. But once again, I still plan on doing the work. Aside from spending some of the money that goes into to running for office, I'll still try to make a very, very, very big effort to run the race as I had, like if I had an opponent. I don't take what the Lord has given me lightly. So if it's an event and if it's an appearance on election day, I'll be there. Part of my campaign at this current juncture is to get out the vote. I need people going to the polls from every ward, from every district. So yeah, that's been me, and that's been what I've been all about.
Joe, what you think about the election as far as the emphasis that's been put on it, the spotlight? This election seemed like it's like so with social media now, it's like a lot of coverage. Y'all doing a lot of shows, being on a lot of podcasts. How y'all feel about that? Do you feel the importance? Do you see how important it is as far as this election is?
Oh man, like I said, the first time I ran for office back in 2015, I remember somebody telling me, "Man, you got to get off social media. You ain't gonna get no votes like that. That ain't the way you move. You got to get off that social media." And I had like a couple thousand friends, little Twitter, something or another. But over those years, that's quadrupled. And now, if you're not on social media, if you're not doing what we're doing, you lost.
Yeah.
It's the way, bro. So look at the way our children are learning. Look at the way we conducting business. This is the way that it has to be. So as far as this election cycle, man, this is the hottest one I've seen in the 16 years I've been here. And they've only gotten hotter since then, so I can only imagine the sky's the limit from here, and that's how it should be.
Right.
Hey, Rob, let people know who you are.
Well, my name is Robert Walker. I am born, raised in Ward 3, Beaumont, Texas, in the South End. 29 years old. I pastor Greater St. Paul Baptist Church for the last 3 years. I was the youth pastor at Starlight Baptist Church about 7 years. Graduated from Central High School in 2009. I'm a student at College of Biblical Studies in Houston, Texas. And I'm a part of NAACP, National Election Network, just a host of organizations. And just working just in me. Effective change is in me. So that's what I'm doing.
I talked to my mom, and my mom mentioned you. She say, that Robert Walker, he sure could preach good. He talks so good. I was like, dang, Mom, you ain't never said that about me. Because I was like, my mom already speaks highly of you. So
that's a good thing. I appreciate that.
Like I said, you got a lot of people in Ward 3 that are fed up. They won't change. They want somebody that's gonna communicate with them. That right. Won't be a ghost to them and stuff. So
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No. I was just gonna say I was actually in a conversation today with a lady, and she made mention to that fact that current leadership across the board, in her eyes, have just been ghosts, not communicating, not transparent, and she was just making the statement that it's time for a change throughout the whole thing. We need leaders who are advocating on our behalf and speaking up for us because we put them into office, so they are our voice.
I guess I get to a question earlier, an early question. My boy, The Future, said, what do y'all think about taking the old football stadium by CDS and using it for teams like the Salvation Army, so they could generate their own money to fund their own gear? I think that field is being used. I don't know if they use it to play soccer. I remember one time I was jogging and I seen some people playing soccer. I don't know if it was a high school or what playing, but I think they do use that field for something. I'm not sure.
They use it on Sundays quite a bit. They have like big soccer games out there on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't know of any other use.
I'm not sure what they're doing with that stadium as far as the old Central High School stadium. It seemed like it's still in good shape, though.
Yeah, from what I gather, I think it is. And I have no issue with, other entities like the Salvation Army using it. I think that'd actually be a good thing, personally.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge regarding to changing up or upgrading Ward 3?
I think my biggest challenge, if elected, is going to revolve around mindset. Because what I've discovered is you can have all these ideas for change and you can have all these resources for change. But if people ain't got the mindset and the desire to change, then change won't happen. Areas like Ward 3 have been in the same condition for so long. And as a result of that, it's created this idea that this is the way it's got to be. It's created this notion that we can't do better. And that's just the truth. Ward 3 in Beaumont and in general is filled with tons of potential, filled with tons of possibilities. It's just getting us to change the mindset, and then we can really move forward.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, as far as Beaumont United, winning. What do you think? What do you think that does for the school district?
Oh man, one of the things that we have to do, literally, we have to do it is change the image and bring more positivity back to the forefront. So, I think when you consider first of all, what Beaumont United has been through over these last 2-3 years, the storms have pulverized the campus. They had to merge. Those students were at a middle school for a little bit over at South Park. Even this last snowstorm really took them out of class for an extra week, and still they were able to, keep it in the road, so to speak, and bring home a state championship. And man, that pumps a lot of life into a lot of people and shows that that gives us something to ride, for the foreseeable future until we can get something else positive. But those are the things that we have to be talking about. Those are the things that we have to be mentioning. And I just thank God for that victory and the way that whole thing played out. And I just think that's a terrific thing it's a good jumping off point for after this election. When the new board is seated, the students are doing what they can to change the image of the district. Now let's do what we need to do.
Are they having a parade or something?
There is a parade on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Please just go to BU's page, their Facebook page. But I think it's on the 23rd. It's gonna be at 6, like a community type pep rally. So it's gonna be at the stadium, at BU Stadium actually. So it'll be outside so people can social distance or whatever. And yeah, man, if you can make it, I encourage you. Once again, don't quote me on the exact times and dates, but just go to Beaumont United's Facebook page or the district's Facebook page, and they've been promoting the advertising. So once again, it gives us a good place to rally from.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, like I said, man, that was a great win. Hey, Rob, they had a forum you did not attend. A lot of people was like, why didn't Robert attend the forum? I think it was like last Sunday or something.
Yeah, last Sunday, man, we had a prior engagement that I was unable to get out of during that time. But I did get an email this evening about Packer Close Forum on next Friday, March the 19th. So I will be at that one.
Yeah, they hit me up too. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend that. I don't know if it's a public forum or not. As far as that.
March 19th.
March 19th. It's Friday. I think they said from 6 to 9. It's going to be at the event center. It's geared toward the young voters, the high schoolers that are eligible to vote. And actually, the student body president for BU will be the moderator for the forum. So.
Okay. I want to write that down. They ain't hit me up, so I appreciate you. Let me know.
You go crash that thing, huh, Joe?
I told you, man. I don't care if I ain't got no opponent tonight. We campaigning out here.
Joe, he crashing that thing. He kicking the door in.
What you say the date was, bro?
March 19th.
March 19th. Oh yeah. 6 to 9.
6 to 9. Beaumont Event Center.
All right, my man.
Hey, what do y'all think about changing the football stadium name?
I'll tell you what. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I'll talk to you about that, and I'll just give you my take on that. And I hope when I'm judged, I'm not judged on my take on this stadium. I hope I'm judged on what I do in my 4 years in office, because we got about 4 years to make a lot of changes. And those 4 years I talk about, that's not an arbitrary date. Those 4 years have a lot of significance to them. Those 4 years are a couple things. That's my term. My term's up in 4 years, so I got about 36 months, about 3 years to make things happen. The next thing, 4 years, the superintendent's got a new contract on deck. She got to either be rehired or fired in 4 years. And then the last thing about them 4 years is that there's some things that we have to do, things that the current board has set in place that have been mandated by the state. We have to bring up third grade reading levels significantly, percentage-wise, in the next 4 years. We have to bring up STAR testing for math for third graders substantially in the next 4 years. We have to change the image of the district in the next 4 years. We have to double the amount of students that are leaving our district going to a trade school, getting some type of certification, going to the military. We have to double that number in 4 years. And if we don't do that, we still stand the chance of the state taking us over because we currently have a conservator in the House. Our board is not our board. We do not have complete autonomy. So when you ask about the stadium, if it's going to help them kids improve them third grade reading scores, yes. If it's going to help them kids improve those third grade math scores, yes. If it's going to double the amount of people that we send into college, 2-year, 4-year, military, trade school, Porter, Beaumont, yes. And if it don't do none of those things, I ain't trying to hear it. I ain't trying to smell it. I ain't trying to know nothing about it. And that's just the way I feel.
I don't see how people can get a bad. I don't see how people can get a bad vibe about what you just said. Everything you said was exactly just right.
Well, like I said, I hope I'm not judged on that, brother. I hope I'm judged on in 4 years that we go from 20-something% to 50-something% reading proficiency. You seen lean on me.
Mm-hmm.
You seen the state says you're gonna change them scores and we're gonna take you over.
Yeah.
That's real, bro. That's
Lock
real.
Lock it down.
And so that's why I said, since I don't have an opponent, I don't have to sit out here and build off my platform. I must do the research and the work to build on what the current board and the state has put in place for us, and then make sure I'm facilitating that the whole way through. Period. So that's been my research. Every day I'm researching, I'm reading, I'm doing everything I can. So when they swear me in, I can hit the ground running.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Rob, so you're running for city council. Do you understand how the environment is, is crazy, the arguing, them not being able to agree to things? A lot of people are just watching the council meetings just for the argument, just for the spicy stuff that's going to happen. You're aware of the atmosphere that you're trying to walk into?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's sad that we have elected leaders who are elected to represent the people, but yet they're fighting amongst themselves as to what should be the best move for the people. Let's just be honest. It's a sad state of affairs when the folk that we elect to move us forward can't even find common ground on what the best for us is. I think that my personality and my willingness to work as a team can help in fixing that, and can get our council members to see that there is a bigger picture and a bigger agenda than our own agenda.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that as far as investors and businesses, they watch this council meeting, they watch how the mayor and certain council members argue, and that runs people away. You think that you believe that?
I think that does happen. I do believe that that plays a major part into growth. If we got citizens and investors looking at council meetings and our elected leaders can't even get along, then why should I put my money into this community, or why should I put my money into this city if they can't even agree on how this money ought to be spent?
Chris Jones going off. Chris is a very passionate guy, man. Chris Jones is one of the most passionate guys I've met, man. I'm talking about, man, Chris. It reminds me of like the Stephen A. Smith of politics. Like if he had his own show and he just went off, I'm telling you, dog. Chris would be a millionaire, man. I'm telling you, man. I mess with Chris, man. That's a classmate, man, and he educated me on a lot of things that goes on as far as political wise in the city and everything. Hey Joe, here's a question. Rate BISD from 1 to 10.
And what you mean in terms of
overall, because people still thinking about what happened back in the days about the little scandal.
Overall, I tell you what, man. Before I rate my district, because I want to be very upfront, I want to be very frank with you.
Mm-hmm.
We will change the image of the district.
Okay.
We will like I'll watch a lot of your posts. We will dwell on positivity, and we will wake up every morning with the thought process that today is our day and we're gonna shine. And so, with that being said, we probably about a 5, bro. And you know, you can take that two ways. You know, if you're saying 5 out of 10, that's 50%. 50%, we all know you're failing. You know, you can take it as the glass half full. And you got nothing but room to go up. But in any event, we 50% right now. We halfway to where we need to be, and that's if we can remain positive and continue to do. Like, the one thing that we can do faster than anything else is change the image of the district. You know, we can stop promoting the negativity. We can stop with we know it's there. We know the things that we know the shortcomings that we have, but let's not promote those. But let's take every moment that we can to focus on the improvement. So right now we're about a 5, but it's gonna take some time. And if you just, like I say, judge us over these next 36 months because it's crunch time. You know, and that ain't because I'm going on the board. Like that's and like I said, that's not an arbitrary date. That's me telling you I'm on the hot seat, bro. Like, it's on. Like, it can be no playing around. This is so serious right now. And then, like, Brother Walker sitting here, he running for city council. He can't do nothing if that like I told AJ, you know, he got this bright vision for growth. There will be no growth if the people do not want their children to go to our schools. You know, and so that has to be something that's on the forefront, and we got to make sure that we so serious in all business when it comes to Beaumont ISD.
I agree.
Hey, Rob, what do you think has prepared you for the role to be city council for Ward 3?
I think it's a collection of few things. My upbringing, and just the hand that life has dealt me as it relates to how I handle current certain situations and certain circumstances, to even the work I do on a daily basis, that when combined, they form a perfect union. Man, whether it be at church or whether it be at work, I'm constantly in the business of engaging. Every day I'm advocating for individuals. Every day I'm trying to make sure that folk I come in contact with know that they're important, know that they have a voice, that with me they can and will be heard. And so all of that combined is what has prepared me for the role of the city council.
You think that they should extend it longer than 2 years to be a city councilman? I think I heard like 3. I think people were saying like maybe 3 years instead of 2.
I think 2 is good because it keeps the sitting council on their toes, for lack of a better term. It keeps them, you know, on top of their game to know that, hey, in 2 years, you know, if I'm not progressing, if I'm not trying, if I'm not advocating, then somebody's going to come and try to take my seat. So I need to make sure I'm doing the work that I was elected to do and make sure the voices of my voters are being heard so that I can keep this seat, you know, if I'm really in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, I feel you that. I feel you on that as far as keeping people on their toes, because I think a lot of people been up there so long that they got comfortable.
Yeah,
and I think when you get comfortable, you kind of lose like the edge to, like Joe say, like the passion, and you start like doing things, doing what you want instead of what the people want.
Right, your own agenda.
Yeah, your own agenda. Stacy Lewis, he's running for district. I think it's 2. I think. I just missed his comment. What did he say? He said BISD will become that district. Joe, you met Stacy before?
Yeah, I met Stacy, and I know junior and senior.
Okay.
I know Stacy Lewis Senior. You know, me and him, we got some similar, like, he done traveled the world a lot. So I went to college in Tallahassee at FAM, and he spent some time in Tallahassee too. We didn't know each other while I was there, of course, but I just remember when I first moved to Beaumont, I ran into him. Mm-hmm. And my boss know Stacy from just participating at the rec, coaching, reffing, and so I know Junior and recently, I know Senior, and recently I met Junior over the campaign trail and everything, and we had some good conversations and stuff. He a hard working young brother, So once again, highlights the youth coming out, When I'm an old man in the race, that's how you know the youth out. Cause I'm just like 41, so but them boys way younger than me, so that lets you know the youth is out, and that's what needs to happen. If you want some real innovative ideas to come to the forefront.
And either one of y'all can answer this. Albert was saying it's important for the council and BISD to have an innovative working relationship.
Almost definitely.
Yes.
Either one of y'all can answer this. Y'all think they lacking that right now?
Yes. Yeah.
There is no relationship between the two entities. And from as far back as I can see, there has been no relationship between the two entities. And that's not altogether that abnormal when you look at political subdivisions across the state. I mean, like even the county doesn't really work cohesively and together. Every district and every taxing body is their own separate body. But in our situation, it needs to be. When you talk about Beaumont ISD being the largest employee in Southeast Texas, it's a lot of family interwoven into these situations. If you work for the city, it's a good chance you got a family member that work for the district. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of fabric that needs to be rewoven, so to speak, so we can start to build these relationships. And it's all going to be for the better good. I talk about, I ran for port commissioner, and, I learned a lot about the port, and the port can be a vital instrument into turning the lives around of so many of our children, especially if you consider what's coming with deepening and widening and all the maritime programs they have. So once again, not just with the city, but the district has to build a relationship with the county and with the port and with the city of Beaumont, and it's got to be all inclusive, and everybody's got to be buying in to the same set of goals.
Right, like Joe mentioned the fact that us guys that's running for council, we got all these ideas, but I mean, if we ain't got kids going to the schools, or if the schools aren't performing correctly, then all these ideas just go out the window, because that means that Beaumont doesn't have a future if the school system isn't performing like it should. And so together, I think they could make the school system what it should be, and the school district can make the city what it should be.
Do y'all think this is one of the most important ways for Beaumont to grow?
I do. Yeah. I honestly do. Yeah, it's got to be the foundation that everything is built on. So, and that's one of the things I really make a concerted effort to do. I was a regular attendee at city council meetings for a long time, so I'm no stranger to the city of Beaumont and city council. And once again, being an activist and being so involved politically, I have relationships with a lot of the current office holders and a lot of the current candidates. So it's not something that's going to be difficult to do as far as forging those relationships. We just can't forget that we discuss these things when it's not campaign season. Like AJ, once again, I bring his name. We talked about a joint session of some sort between the school district and the city, and those things have to happen just to show the community that there is some cohesiveness and that we all have the best interest of our students and our citizens in our mind. So
I agree, and I think it also will help in keeping school graduates in the city. Because I mean, if the city offers things that major cities like Houston offers, and when these young people graduate, they won't be so quick to run off. They'll be more inclined to stay here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When they graduate high school, they that's one of the main goals for some of them is to run to Houston or somewhere else. And to be honest with you, most of the time when they run to these other cities, they're just running there just to be out there, and the nightlife is not really for job wise. It's just like, man, I'm out of Beaumont now, So yeah, I think we do need to improve as far as like keeping these kids out here. because Beaumont been 118,000, 117, 16,000 for like 20 some years.
Right.
And if you look at the city, if you look like at, I forgot what website you go to look at the population growth in certain cities, well, the cities in Texas, you got like Beaumont and Port Arthur in the red. It's like negative, or it might be, one time I seen it was negative. It might be point something now in the green, but it's at the bottom though. Let's see. Stacy say he respectfully disagree. A new candidate that is seated will be under the former councilman budget. This only allows him to truly serve for 1 year, then back to campaigning. Okay, I feel that.
Yeah, I do too.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I understand exactly what he's meaning by that.
Yeah, I can see his point on that. Hey, Rob, I heard you talking about somebody was talking about reduced classrooms. Is it a problem as far as with BISD with overcrowding classrooms? I don't know. I can't say it if it is, because I went to Willie Ray Smith one time to mentor a couple of kids. The classroom wasn't really that big, so I don't know if that's a really big issue or not. Is that a big issue with BISD as far as overcrowding classrooms that we need to reduce them?
I think the classroom size has been an issue creeping up on us these days. And so when you think about, we closed one, we merged two schools. We merged two schools, and then our elementary school, we have more elementary schools than the other schools. So I think that it's been a problem that's been kind of creeping up on us, and the vacancies don't help. I think maybe on the high school level, you may have some oversized classrooms, but the problem now is getting the kids back face to face. So for the rest of this year, you won't see a packed classroom, because we struggling to get the kids back in the classroom, which we really, really, really need to do. I know we want to be safety conscious, and I know we want to be, on top of this thing and on the right side of things as far as COVID-19, but we really need to get the kids back to face-to-face instruction so we can start getting our district on the right track. We dodged a huge bullet last week because the state held us harmless, which means we will receive about $8.5 million in funding that we may not have saw. But we can't rest on our laurels. We have to keep on pushing. So after spring break, kids got to go back to school. And I'm praying that teachers can take the vaccine and do what they need to do to be healthy. But the students have to get back to face-to-face instruction. The attendance has to come up. That's going to make or break the district financially. And we got to really push our students to get back in the classroom and start back engaging. Because if not, we're going to be in big trouble financially, and from a instruction standpoint, we're going to be in big trouble.
Okay. Rob, if you're elected to city council, what's the first thing you would like to do?
The first thing I would like to address it only because that's the first thing that people talk to me about when I come in contact with them, and that's try to deal with the infrastructure issues in our city. Okay. More specifically, with the infrastructure in Ward 3. And when I say infrastructure, I don't mean just, streets. That's the big thing with everybody right now is our streets are so bad. But we got utility poles that are down. Thankfully, this past week in the South End, I saw that they were doing some improvements on telephone poles in the area. But you still got poles all over the place. You got wires hanging. We got a brown water issue with a lot of people in the community. And so infrastructure would definitely be my first thing that I would try to deal with. And it kind of equals out to also community development as well. So those would be my first two things to deal with.
Hey, we kind of talked about that a little bit. Hey, Joe, what do you think about like virtual learning? Do you think now with COVID, they kind of tested it? You think we're going to kind of move forward with virtual learning, or
I think
scrap that?
I think for short term and temporary solutions is phenomenal. If we are down due to hurricanes, repairs, sick students, student athletes, I think for a short term period it can be really, really beneficial. But I think for the long haul, I think it's not the way to go. At least not right now. There's no real accountability tool with it. Cheating is always an issue, but you know that's going to go out of the roof with virtual learning on so many aspects. And at the end of the day, there's going to be certain crafts or trades that are going to really require some face-to-face and hands-on learning. And then everyone's not going to be a virtual learner, So I have 3 students in the district of my own, and two of them do. One of them does really, really well. And the other 2 do all right. But with that being said, if I don't stay on them, like I got to stay on them, man. And so the accountability of virtual learning, we're not there yet. But once again, it's a beautiful thing when you don't have any other options or, things happen that reduce you to have to not be able to be on campus. So for now, good. But once again, I go back to my original statement earlier. They got to be back face-to-face, and they got to be back to face-to-face learning soon.
ASAP. Rob, now another issue as far as social media wise. Mm-hmm. It was a question that popped up. I was going to ask the question eventually, but will you be more social with the people in your community, the citizens in Ward 3? It's kind of hard to reach certain councilmen, councilwomen. Would you be more vocal as far as like hearing the public and the concerns of the people in your community?
Most definitely. If I'm elected, social media will play a major role in how I connect with the Ward 3 community and the Beaumont community as a whole. Let's just be real. Social media runs the world right now. Folk don't look at the news no more. Folk don't read newspapers no more. I tell people all the time, if my mama got a Facebook, everybody ought to have a Facebook.
Oh man!
Yeah, my mom got a Facebook. Shout out to my mom; she watching right now.
I'm pretty sure my mom is too, all the way in Orlando, Florida.
So shout out to the moms right now, man.
Yes, sir. But man, social media has become an even bigger part of everybody's life since the pandemic, and so that's another avenue that we can reach our voters, and another avenue that our voters can be heard. I made mention earlier this week on the Knowledge is Power podcast that even in my own experience, information in Beaumont is not readily accessible. And so I'm saying, how can I leverage what people use every day and get them the info that they so desperately need? And the one thing that came to my mind is hosting informational briefings, a monthly Facebook Live or a monthly Zoom, monthly YouTube, just addressing the citizens of Ward 3, something to show progress, show where we're headed as a ward and as a city. And it would be basically something to let the community know that as your councilman, your representation, your voice, I hear you, and I'm doing what I can to help you.
Okay. Hey, Joe, do you think we should push for mental health checks for our kids?
Man, Mr. Terry Roy, he's had that really on my mind, man. And here's the deal: from mentoring, and I mentor out at Minnie Rogers. At least I did before COVID. I'm praying that we can get back in there. When we see some of these behavioral issues, if we would just address the mental health component of it, we may be able to fix a lot of the behavioral issues. The problem is how do we bridge the gap between medical and education? Because that's a real slippery slope. So I think, and once again, I think the biggest way we're going to address that is mentoring, because mentoring does at least give that therapeutic component of mental health, because sometimes, just my cousin, man, me and him used to just stay up to like 3-4 in the morning talking about God knows what, but it was very relieving. You know, we laugh about it now, but you know, a lot of times that was me and Cuz, you know, but a lot of times you don't have you and Cuz, it's just you know. And then the people you see that you want to reach out to, they're doing stuff that God knows you don't want to be involved in. So the last thing you want to be doing is confiding in them. Plus, you know, in the Black community, we got this macho bravado where you know, you got to be hard. Yeah. And then the next thing is you know, we are faithful people, so we rely heavily on our faith to get us through our problems, which is the right thing to do. But we can't close the door on other things either. So I think as a whole, as a community, we need to focus on mental health. I think in months to come, when I'm seated and I can really see the legality and what really happens and what it would take and medical wise, how we can start to facilitate more of that, I'll definitely be a really big advocate for it. And in the meantime, I encourage mentoring, especially for young Black males. Please mentor, contact the IEA program, pull up at the corner store, run them off the block, do what you got to do. Like I was telling my daughter today, I like to rhyme a little bit. I said, all y'all want to do is drink walkie and eat Takis. And she was like, what you mean? And I was like, that's all y'all want to do, man. The music teaches y'all. And so she was like, man, what you mean? But so, you know, we got to do a better job of getting a good message out to them. Me, you, Floyd, Brother Robert, you know, we just got to, because the pimps and the players and the hustlers, they get a good message out. You know, that shine is something else, you know.
It's attractive.
You never had, yes, very attractive, especially if you never had it. So we gotta be more present. And I don't know when the last time, I always tell people when I grew up, I didn't see a statesman or a councilman at my school. You know, when the few I did are the reason why I'm running for office and doing the things I'm doing today. So if it would have been more of that, it could have probably been more you know, activists and statesmen and, you know, all of the above. So, you know.
I agree.
Hey, Rob, what do you think? We was talking about infrastructure. You think the city should raise taxes to help repair some of this infrastructure that we have?
That's a tough question. I say that because everybody wants better infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants the streets that they drive to and from work to be the best. I mean, we got these nice cars, and let's be honest, they're not making them like they used to. Much as we want better roads to drive on, and as much as we want improvements with our water utilities and improvements with our telephone poles, the one thing we don't want to see is an increase in taxes. Now, of course, there are multiple ways these things can be done, but that would require work on behalf of the city government. That would require the council, the mayor, the city manager, and his administration to look into alternatives that would allow citizens to get what they deserve without going into their pockets. And so if that means looking into private investors, if that means looking into federal grants, or even restructuring our current working budget without compromising employees' salaries and benefits, then that might be the route we need to go.
That's what's up. Let me shout out my boy Pastor Palmer on these what's it called? Go Time drinks. I'm not drinking no more of that. I don't know what he put in that thing. I'm not here. If y'all paid attention, I ain't touched that thing, and I'm not touching that no more. I don't know what he did with it. Pastor Palmer, I appreciate the drink. That thing is too
over there.
I'm finna go. I'm gonna have to go get me some water. Messing around with that, I'm gonna calm down. I had to chill. I was like, man, I'm not messing with that, bro. It's good. It tastes good. It's great. You know, I'm not knocking it, but it's real strong. Joe, we was talking about Rob was saying how he's gonna use social media to, you know, communicate more with the citizens. As far as with you and the school board, what are some things? What can you do as far as board meetings to hear the parents' concern?
Yeah, man, you know, for some, and I don't know why, I know both meetings, city council and school board, are both online. For a while, they was doing them on Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it got controversial, but they both stopped broadcasting that way. That's going to be one of the biggest things, Floyd, that I really have to do, and that's how do we get to these parents? I really got to figure out a way to really be a good conduit between the district and the parents, because a lot of information is lost in some form or fashion. For example, we're not taking advantage of certain programs that we have, like the CTE program. That you may have been a part of because you're a process operator, but we should be pushing out more process operators. We should be pushing out more teachers, more cosmetologists, auto mechanics. We have programs that are kind of sitting idle to a degree because we've done a poor job promoting them. And on the flip side, we have programs that can empower parents who may have struggled out of the gate and not have the best job. Well, now they have an opportunity to further their education. I'll be frank with you, man. I got to follow Dr. Howard, but if you out the north, bro, if you out the north, you can almost go to LIT for nothing.
Yeah.
And so, but we're not really pushing that for some reason. But yeah, the CCMR, which is college career military readiness, for some reason we're not doing that. And what's happening is parents aren't pushing their students, and I think it's a lack of the knowledge. So social media is going to be big, man, as far as promoting that. And it'll have to be a campaign where I get with like Unc Jones over in Charlton Pollard and say, Unc, we're going to drill your neighborhood this next 30 days. We're going to try to touch every parent over here. We got to knock on doors. We're going to do this over here. Get with Pastor Andrews over in South Park. Get with you, Floyd, in the North End. And we really got to make a concerted effort to get the information into the hands of the parents on a consistent basis. And I think if we can do that, we'll see a big change with our students.
Chris said South End. Chris said don't forget about the South End too. I guess to go to LIT.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Once again, and the port is set up to do some beautiful things with Charlton Pollard and in conjunction with the school board and LIT. Once again, we need our students to pack those universities. Bottom line, it'll be a beautiful thing for those universities. It'll be a beautiful thing for our students, and in return, that's how you keep Beaumont growing and keep people from moving away.
I just seen Chris Jones message. He just shot me a message. He wanted to join the show. I want to ask y'all first. You know what I'm saying? I know this is y'all time. I guess he has some insider stuff he wanted to talk about. Like I say, Chris, very passionate, man. He's a passionate brother. I think it wasn't you, Joe. You was just on his show, right?
Yeah, I was on the one last night. Matter of fact, but yeah,
man. I was a little mad. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, man. I ain't know, man. I thought you probably knew.
I didn't even know. I had to work last night anyway, so
yeah.
Like I said, when I got off last night, I just I hopped just on and stuff like that.
The game was last night too, so I know a lot of people was locked into the BU game too. So it was a busy night.
Chris, inbox me. I tried to find your thing. Inbox me. I'll bring you on in a little bit. Let me ask a few more questions right quick. As far as Rob, now as far as the community, as far as the relationship with the police, do you think that's bad? Do you think that's something we need to improve as far as police relationships with the community?
Without a doubt, there's a major lack of police and community relations. That's actually one of the things that I'm trying to push more for, because I personally think that this lack stems from the fact that police in these areas are not visible, and that's why there's not these relationships. I never see a police officer patrolling in the South End. Never. The only time I see police in my community is when somebody pick up the phone and call them to come. And the bad part about that is the police department is less than 5 minutes away from my house. And we wonder why it's hard for police to get answers. It's not because folk don't want to snitch. It's because I don't know you, Mr. Officer. You ain't out here engaging with me in my community. The only time we see it is when you come in to shut down one of our parties, or when you come to lock one of us up. And look, I'm an advocate for the police. I back the blue, but I need the blue to show me that they're here for us as a community.
I think you're exactly right. To be honest with you, I hate to use this term because racist people like I got a black friend, or whatever. But I got a lot of police officers. I'm Facebook friends with. I know them personally, and they're really. I mean, they cool. We joke all the time.
Right.
And not to say them, but I wish they had that same. Not the ones that I'm talking to personally, but I wish the police department had that same relationship with the community. And as far as you say, when we see the police officers, they're usually there, like stopping a party or wherever it may be. And every now and then we see these videos, and you see the police out there shooting basketball with the kids and engaging. And I think that makes their job more easier when you try to build a relationship with the kids. So that kid likely will be like, oh, that's Officer such and such, man. Don't, he's cool. You don't have to do all that and stuff like that. So I think the police gets a bad rep, but they also need to do their part and engage with the kids a little bit more. Because most of these kids, when they see the police, even though they're not doing anything, they get nervous and they might run for no reason or wherever it may be, just because of the images that the media is painting for the police. So yeah, I think maybe they need to do like, host like a little event in maybe the North End or the South Park or something. And
most definitely. I mean, we got these police substations all over the place, but I mean, they just seem to me just be hanging out in the parking lot and not engaging in the community. So
yeah.
What's the purpose of having these substations in the community if you're not going to engage with the community?
What you think about that, Joe?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. And I'll take it a step further. Once again, we need to be sending students to LIT to be police officers and going to the police academy. So we start policing our own neighborhoods. So once again, when we talk about that college and career, military readiness, that means law enforcement as well, criminal justice as well. Let's start policing our own neighborhoods. And once again, when is the last time, we got Zena, the sheriff, right? That's trend setting. That's groundbreaking, but we need more people like that. And once again, when you see more people like that, you have connections with more people like that. That guy's all of a sudden the coach. That guy was all of a sudden one of your referees. And we got a good guy over at LIT too. Officer Nixon is over there running the show for LIT's police academy and their recruitment. So he's black, So once again, I plan on working with him pretty soon to try to do some outreach and try to get some of our seniors and juniors just taking a look at law enforcement from a career standpoint. And it would just be so awesome to get somebody from those communities living in those neighborhoods, policing those neighborhoods, and just turning that corner. So I think that's a good start in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna speak for myself. I got pulled over. The last time I got pulled over, I was speeding. I ain't gonna lie, man. That speed limit, man. That was a trap because you're going 75, and then it all of a sudden it's another sign and it says 60. So I was still slowing down. So I got pulled over. But besides the point, when a black officer got out, immediately I felt comfortable. Out of just me, I'm just saying, I immediately felt comfortable when he got out the car because I don't know. I just felt like him being a black guy. I don't know his background.
Right.
I just felt that maybe he can kind of relate a little bit more. He won't be too jumpy or whatever it may be. And okay, hold on. That's my daughter. But like you said, man, I think a lot of people complain about the police officers and criminal justice system, and And I'm like, okay, well, become a police officer or become a lawyer or become a judge or become, somebody, So if you feel that way, then people that feel like you, then you can be the person they can go to and feel comfortable that, okay, this guy right here, he's from where I'm from, or he can understand. Let this guy back me, or whatever it may be. I do think we need more minorities and black people in the criminal justice field. We need to stop
demonizing everything.
What happened?
We demonize everything,
Yeah,
man.
That's crazy. Like,
police. I ain't gonna be able to go back to the hood if I'm police, but yeah, the hood needs you, bro.
Man, look, man. I know a few policemen from the North End, and shoot, they pull up all the time. I'm not gonna say. Well, I know a police officer used to pull up to the house, get out, chop it up with the family,
right,
and everything. And it's like I don't understand. Like, you can't go back to the hood and all that, especially in Beaumont. Nobody can run you off of any hood in Beaumont. If you're a police officer, if you're the chief, you can still go back to these neighborhoods. These neighborhoods are not that bad for you to be like, I can't go back to the hood if I'm a police officer. Look, man, you taking care of your family, you gonna have benefits. You know what I'm saying? Do you, man? Don't follow that hood stigma, because that's messing up a lot of people.
Right. Most definitely.
Joe, also, let me ask you another question. As far as what all does your district cover?
My district, the best way to think about it is it's gonna be the furthest school board district west in the city. And so basically almost everything west of Major Drive that's still in the Beaumont city limits. So if you was to take Major Drive from 105 back over to Walden Road, everything west of that. So like what the neighborhood where Westbrook is, it grabs a lot of that Tram Road neighborhood, like up on 105. Both kind of splits off a little bit to where Stacy's running. Back down Major, across Washington, the neighborhoods that are like the Willows over on Walden. And so it's the furthest district west in the city.
Man, I think that's weird how they got those districts mapped out, man. I can't follow it.
And my district is a peculiar district, man. We lost part of my district to some of those students with the HJ because they were so close on the line, close to Beverly Oaks or whatever. They went ahead and gave that portion of the district back. So and like I said, it does some weird stuff on Major Drive, like half of Major Drive, depending on what side of Major Drive you're on my district, So it's choppy the way they do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Rob, I got a few more questions. How do you feel about the city transportation? A lot of people, even a few councilmen, they saying we should get rid of it. We wasted money. A lot of citizens say we should keep it. People were saying maybe try to Uber type program. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, that's actually an idea that I agree with. I personally think that the city transportation system is suffering. Man, I remember a time when the downtown bus transfer center was filled with folk riding the bus. In fact, I was one of them. Man, we used to catch the South Park bus on Park Street, and South Park bus turned into Parkville Mall bus. And every week, man, we was catching the bus to the mall. But over time, with the increase of people buying cars, in recent with the invention and how popular Uber and Lyft have become, it really put a strain on public transportation. One of the reasons I think it suffered as it relates to Uber, Lyft, and these rideshare companies is that public transportation makes too many stops. We evolved into a culture and into a people that don't like waiting.
Right.
Even though we go to the grocery store and we gotta wait, we go to the airport, we gotta wait. But for certain things, we just won't wait for. We're people of We like direct access, and I think that the city of Beaumont transportation system should incorporate passenger cars into their fleet of vehicles. It would cut down on expenses for sure. Cars are more cheaper than buses, cheaper to maintain, cheaper in fuel. And if we be honest, I'm sure it cuts down on pollution. So instead of doing away with the system, we vamp it and structure it to fit 2021.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I really low key agree with that too, because it's not too many people riding the bus.
Right.
It might be like 3 people on that bus. But I do think if we do develop a program, I think like maybe the bus drivers should just be the drivers if they do implement a type of, so they won't lose their jobs. Maybe mechanics that work on the bus can, everybody keep their job to a certain extent, because I would hate for people to lose their jobs over something like this, even though, like you said, a lot of people are driving cars, but you still have, maybe like senior citizens and other people that might ride that bus. But yeah, I actually do. I think it's something that we should work on, and we should. I know we've been over an hour. I hate to keep y'all over an hour, but I got a few more questions. Y'all cool?
Oh yeah,
I'm good, man.
Okay, all right. Joe, how do you feel about the teachers, man, keeping these teachers in the district? I heard Goose Creek. I heard a lot of teachers was going to Goose Creek. The pay was higher. I could be wrong on the school name, but how can we keep some of these teachers to stay in this area?
Man, that's a tough one, because when you look at the pay, we're on par with the surrounding areas. So, the notion that we're just lagging on pay, that's not quite the case. The problem, but what may be the case is you may, and this is just for me talking to some people, you may take a few dollars less to go to Hampshire or Nederland or Lumberton, because we got to face it. We got, as a community, got to do a little bit better job discipline wise. I don't know right now. It would be irresponsible for me to speak on the relationship that upper admin of the district has with the teachers. I know there are some teachers that don't feel comfortable with the grievance process, but even on that, I say, why so many grievances at all? One of the current board members has a problem with the grievance process. He has a really big problem with the grievance process. He's made it openly known that he has a problem with the grievance process. But my thing, once again, is why so many grievances? And so there's something that we got to do to get to the root of it. And one of those things is we have to be patient. When you look at the COVID-19 situation, our teachers were put in the box. And okay, so perfect example for the virtual learning. While that may be desirable for students and parents sometimes, that's a lot of work for the teachers, man. That's a lot of work, preparation, especially when you didn't really know you were going into it. And so those are the things we got to look at. I think when someone asks about classroom size, most definitely if classroom size is a problem, that's going to run away teachers. If teachers don't feel safe, they're going to leave. So from what I understand, we may have a high number of teachers resigning. So all in all, we have to collectively just stay the course for one. And I'll always be an advocate for the educators, because I feel like they're the frontline soldiers, and we don't get our students to the next level without them. But it would be irresponsible and kind of naive for me to speak on what I can and cannot do for the teachers, because I don't know exactly what I can and cannot do for the teachers from where I sit as a board member, other than being a social advocate for them, and I'll always be that.
Okay. Hey, Rob, as far as getting people to go to the polls and vote, have you been out into Ward 3, the community? I know a lot of people have been walking the neighborhoods, especially, and you know what? Let me say this, Rob. A lot of mayor candidates, y'all been walking these neighborhoods, but y'all have not been walking the North End. Y'all have not been walking the South End. Y'all been walking the Amelia area. Y'all been walking these other neighborhoods out here in the West End. I've been seeing y'all. I've been seeing y'all in the North End. Where y'all at, man? Where are y'all at? Not you, Rob. I'm just speaking on the mayor candidates. I just want to say that.
Yeah, but no, man. Honestly, to be 100% honest with you, man, I got plans tomorrow to hit the north end for sure. I did a little bit today. I'm working with Pack the Polls, trying to get especially the young people out to vote. I feel like that's the route to go, especially with this election, because national election has really shown, especially the young people, that every single vote does matter and every single voice does matter. So that's pretty much my push for this election, is getting young people out to the polls.
Joe, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, if you don't mind, if I can step out of my
go ahead, man.
I just want to go back into activist mode and just lend something. The reason why, in my opinion, that wards 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be Pear Archer, North. Is that 3 and 4?
Yeah, 3 is the north and south.
What you see with the mayors not campaigning in those areas is basically symptomatic of what you see in those districts, because the mayors aren't going there because those districts don't vote in droves, and because those districts don't vote in droves, they don't spend a lot of time there. They have to spend their time in districts and in precincts that turn out to vote. And so once again, that's systematic to why roads and infrastructure are so poor in those areas, because for years those seats go unchallenged, right? And so nobody's voting. There's nobody stirring up stuff, and so no one's gonna really hold nobody accountable if nothing happens, because we already know they don't even vote over there. You get what I'm saying? Like, why work our neck to put new roads over there? Because they don't even vote. But whereas if you come over a little further west, they tear the polls up when it's time. And so once again, I think what you see there is systematic. So once again, with Brother Robert Walker running, and the action that you have over, and I think 4, that has to happen, cycle in and cycle out, to drive people to the polls. That's why, once again, me over here in this district with no opponent, I have to vigorously campaign, because I need people to not be complacent and continue to go to the polls and vote.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as politics, I really, what I'm saying, as far as politics, compared to Chris Jones, I'm a novice. But I see how the games that they play in politics now, I'm a master. I see what they're doing. But I also see, if nobody is going to these communities, if I see none of these candidates are going to these communities, I'm going to take the opportunity myself and go to these communities and work the game. Be like, do you see any other candidates out here walking, voicing their concerns? And I mean, it's just politics. That's just how they play. And
if you do, bro, you'll be surprised. Okay, so my last campaign, I didn't break into the north side of town as well as I would have wanted to or needed to. If I would have known you better, then we would have had a blast. But what I will say is, I spent a lot of time in South Park, and I spent a lot of time in Charlton Pollard. And when I tell you, it's a blast. Like, I met Chris. Well, I already knew Chris pretty much, but I met Miss Cheryl Jackson. Man, we had the bounce house over there. We had the frozen cups. Man, we had it all. And then when we came back to Block Walk, they bought the whole hood out the Block Walk for me. So it was like, when we do go, they're gonna show up and show out too, man. So we need to just do it like that. Just spend more time in those communities, man, because once again, it's a nice sight to see you and 10, 15 kids and other people knocking on doors. And they might say, Joe Evans, man, that black Republican SOB, I would never vote for him a day in my life. Who is his opponent? I'm going to go vote for him. Okay, let's go to the poll.
Yeah, just go to the poll.
And so
I got criticized. I'm not gonna change it. I got criticized on the black Republican thing. You know what I'm saying? I made a post, and I got criticized about people. I said, just because you're a black Republican does not mean, what I'm saying, a certain thing or whatever. But you got certain people that's just so blind to the campaign or the political party that that's all they see. They just going off the judgment, just like you said, that black Republican and all that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to local politics or like school board, being a Republican and Democrat, that's out the window.
Don't matter, bro.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. If your kid's struggling, that ain't no partisan problem. That's a life problem. You know? And just like with what we talked about with the police. So we hard on the police, but we ain't got no black police. We hard on the Republicans, but we hard on the black Republicans. Like, you can't make no change from the outside, looking through the window. You can't window shop. You got to get in there and break bread. So that's what we got to do. We got to be everywhere, like spiders. You know what I'm saying? We got to be in the king's castle, and we got to also be in the lowliest places on earth. So, in order to really affect change. So we can't limit ourselves nowhere, politically, business-wise. I learned the whole notion of being a political entrepreneur. We ain't just business entrepreneurs. Some of us got to be political and educational entrepreneurs. That means we got to start the business of education and the business of politics so our people can really, really, master the art of change. We talk about it, but we need some action with it. So, I like what I'm seeing with the young people running, man, and you gonna get it right.
Yeah, Rob, you 29, you young, under 30.
Young buck, why? Hey,
man, I wish I was 29 and 30 with that mind frame like you, bro.
Yeah, man.
It just stems from the fact that I've been living in Ward 3 all my life, and I look at the other side of town, and I'm like, why my community ain't got this, or why my community ain't doing this? And so I was like, get out there and make it happen yourself.
Facts. And you know what? Let me say this. As far as living in Ward 3, from the north end, we see these problems, man. We see what's going on in the north end, and it be people outside the north end that try to tell us, oh, it ain't like that. Look, don't speak on north side business if you're not from the north end. We born and raised there, okay? I know every pothole on Redwood Drive, crossing over on Hardin Street, and then you turn on left on Wilson, and then you bust right on that path. So I know that pothole that's been sitting right there, that's been filled with asphalt for 20 years, and they got to keep repairing it and stuff like that. And, we don't get nothing done, you know what I'm saying? And I know people who be voicing that concern. 311, I'm just going to say that's a joke as far as trying to reach your councilman or whatever. I tried that a few times. It ain't happened. I know a lot of people from the north end tried that a few times. It ain't happened. I'm just speaking north end business from my north end people, from a north side mind frame. Man, let me calm down. But like I said, my boy Chris says South End for life. That's what's up. Chris, you is not a novice in politics, bro. Bro, trick.
Yeah, for real,
Not at all.
Bro, capping, man. Yo, bro,
in the game.
He said that's when I remember Chris I went to I was classmate with Chris, but Chris he ran early. He said he started when he was 29 as far as campaign. I think he ran for mayor, and I think he ran for Ward 3. I could be wrong.
I think he ran for mayor maybe once or twice. He had a couple mayor. I remember, bro. Yeah.
I got another question as far as Joe, how you think we should discipline these kids, man? It's hard because now you can't discipline kids like you used to. You used to paddle. I don't even know if you could paddle anymore or whatever. You got to sign a slip or something. Do they still do that?
Yeah, you gotta sign a waiver letting your kid be paddle, and I think the coaches, if anybody's paddling, it's gonna probably be the coaches on probably the football players. But once again, in this day and age, I wouldn't touch nobody else's child. Look at nobody else's child hard, man, because so me personally talking about paddling, like I might want to snatch you up.
Especially if it's a little girl, especially if it's a girl, you can't. If you're a guy, you just go get the lady to take care of that.
Yeah,
man.
so man, once again, man, that's a very difficult topic. I think one of the things the district is doing is some social, emotional type stuff. Maybe that may be on some of the lines of the mental health. Once again, man, we got to mentor, bro. We got to mentor our young men. We got to really, really mentor our young men. Thank God for sports. So we definitely don't give up on the sports, but we gotta really mentor them, man, and really spend some time with them, talking to them, showing them, like really just grab one person up, man. One, just if you can just get one, if all of us can get one or two, because that's what's gonna bring them back to reality, to really see how a male should act. There's a certain amount of temperance that you should have. There's a certain level of respect that you should treat people with. I'm involved in Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I hear the BU players were praying prior to and Bible study prior to game. Big proponent on that. And so we just got to run that line. Once again, Pastor Robert Walker, that's a beautiful thing, man. Once again, young black man of faith, let you know those things keep you morally grounded. Those things keep you out of trouble. Those things make you second guess a bad decision. And then once again, man, we got to push hard for these parents, man.
A lot of these parents, and I talked to a counsel lady, a school counselor, and she said it's hard to get in touch with these parents unless it pertains to sports events. If it's anything else, it's hard to get in contact with these parents. And they actually use me as far as to help promote events that they have going on as far as the school, because a lot of parents, it's kind of hard to reach them. Right. So I mean, it's a lot of parents that be vocal on Facebook, on social media. And I don't know if they're actually, I'm not saying they're not participating in, these type of school events or with their child and stuff, but it's a lot that's going unnoticed as far as they say it's knocking on doors, going to the house. They're not, that's not even working. So we definitely do have to get parents more involved and stuff. India Patterson, she said it starts at home, which I think it definitely does start at home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm more pro teacher. I think when a kid get in trouble, and I'm just how I was raised. Right. If you get in trouble, you're wrong. Your mom, my mom was, she jumping on me. She ain't even trying to hear the teacher first or whatever. Right. Regardless, I should be able to be acting right in that classroom. You shouldn't even be in trouble. You shouldn't even put yourself in that situation. But now a lot of parents, if their kid get in trouble, they backing the kid up and just, So I think a lot of these teachers, man, they need to be praised because they go through a lot of tough things, man. It's tough being a teacher.
Right. Most definitely, right.
Joe had a question. I mean, Terry had a question for you, Joe. What was that question? He said, can you go back to the answer? Can you go back and answer the question I asked later, or message me your answer? Let's see what Terry said to Joe. Well, he's talking about the elite things to transportation system. I don't know about that. The elite. I mean, we're not talking about the transportation system going away. We're just talking about upgrading it, improving it. Well, one of the questions was what are your areas of concern regarding student achievement in your district?
Right. So, once again, I'll be honest with you. If I was running opposed, this field would probably look very different because I would be constructing the platform based on what I saw best for the district. But since I've been able to just do the research, there are some very clear goals in place right now that if we don't accomplish, we don't move to the next level. So once again, I go back to those core issues that we have to take care of over the next 4 years, and that goes back to we have to bring third grade reading levels up to either the standard or above for star reading for third graders. Right now, we're not doing that. We're nowhere near close to it. So we got 4 years to turn that around. So the priority is going to be reading with parents, reading with students, whatever we can do. If you're mentoring, if you're teaching, read with your students at home. Reading has to be one of the core issues that we correct if we ever intend to move on. Next, the third graders math scores have to come up to at least meeting the standard or exceeding it. And we're talking about a lot of percentage points. It has to go from like we're at 22 right now. We got to be up around 55. That's a lot of percentage points. So that's for reading and that's for math. Next thing was increasing the amount of students that meet the criteria for CCMR. That's college, career, military readiness. We have to almost double that number, and that's not only a goal set by the current board and the superintendent. That's a number that the state told us, hey, y'all have to do this. The board of managers came in and fixed the financial house. Now it's time for you guys to get these students up to academic excellence. So once again, the next thing is changing the overall perception of the district. It has to happen. And then lastly, of course, is we have to double the amount of students that we send in the 2-year, 4-year certifications, military, law enforcement. We have to double that number over the next 4 years. And so those are going to be the priorities you see me hone in on and try to facilitate along with the superintendent and the rest of the board. My biggest thing is I got to get in there. I got to sit down with those other 6 members, and we got to gel, bro. Like we got to be the 1996, 97, 98 Chicago Bulls, bro. When it comes to our district, we got to be a team. We got to be clicking. If we fight, it better be in practice.
Y'all got to be the 2021 BU basketball team.
We got to be. I got to be Arsenal from deep, baby. I got to be Arsenal from deep. That's how we got to do. Seriously, man, that's the approach, and so those are that's the drama you'll hear me beating at least for the next 36 months because that's not only what I should be judged on, that's what we will be judged on as a school district. And by the way, we have a conservator. That means we're on probation still. We still got a probation officer in the house.
Hey, I got a couple more questions for you, Rob. What about you? What about downtown? You think we should improve downtown area? You think we should put an emphasis in revitalizing it, make it vibrant? A lot of people they leave and they go to Houston. They spending their money in Houston. I know we have to have investors that want to invest in downtown. I know that's a major part too, but. You think the city should try something like Crockett Street? Like, you think they should try that again?
I think so. I definitely think it would be beneficial to keep people in Beaumont. So I definitely think we should look into improving downtown and definitely trying that Crockett Street thing again. I don't know what would actually fit and gel there, but I something different. It's no doubt that everything moving to the west. We put some of those businesses that's moving there into downtown. There's too many empty buildings, too many empty lots, and just developments that could be with the right vision and the right investment. We can make downtown really thrive, which will in turn improve our city and grow our city as far as people moving here, investing here, and looking to stay here.
I like what Miles said. He when I had him on the show, he was saying as far as it's a lot of small towns that how Houston is. They go to Houston downtown or whatever to do things, and you got small towns like Orange, Needham and Lumberton, Vidor and Silsbee, and you can cater to those towns, and have them. Beaumont can be their Houston. Yeah. And I saw his point on that. I like this point on that, as far as making that happen. But yeah, I agree with you. I think we should do something because I just came from Austin is a totally different city. I'm not trying to compare it to Beaumont, but they downtown was active. Of course they got the Colorado River running through it and jogging trails and stuff and the bridge. Bats, but it brings tourists. It brings people.
It's branded. Beaumont needs its own brand. I don't know what the brand is or what it could be, but we need something that attracts people and make them want to come to Beaumont.
Yeah, exactly. I always say like whoever designed San Antonio, it was just perfect. You got the river walk, you got businesses along the river walk, you got the Alamo right there. You're gonna get at least 1 million people that's gonna come to that city just to stay. Every time I go to San Antonio, I'm gonna stay at the river walk, even if I gotta drive 40 minutes to where I'm going or wherever we gonna do. I'm just staying at the river walk just to stay there or whatever. And I'm gonna get me a dope view. I'm gonna get me a balcony. I'm gonna definitely get a balcony.
You got me want to go right now, bro.
Man, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I want to go next week, but I can't. I gotta save. I gotta be responsible.
Yeah, same here, bro. I want to go so bad. Spring break and the whole nine. But
oh man, I want to turn it up. I want to. But hey, Rob, where can people? What are you giving out? I mean, where can people get the shirts and signs?
I don't need shirts at the moment. They're coming possibly later on next week. I do have signs. Some of the signs are already out. Some went out today, and some more will go out tomorrow. But they can shoot me an email, call me, text me, and I'll definitely get a sign to wherever it needs to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? I was in my parents' house, and like I said, they support you, so they need a sign.
Most definitely.
So if you're watching, she probably might tell me to hit you up since I'm talking to you right now and get her sign. Just hitting you talking to him, go ahead and get the sign already. That's what she probably gonna say. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get a sign, sticking in the parents' house, and make that happen, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you still at work, right?
No, man, I'm off. I'm off on Saturdays. I'm
oh, okay. I thought you was at work, man. You said you're using the church computer.
This is actually my work computer. His mine and then broke down and all kind of stuff, man.
They'll be like, man, Pastor using our computer. Hey, what church you at again?
Greater St. Paul. It's on Milam, right off of 11.
Okay, all right, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And we got to have to chop it up, man, more and stuff like that. I know April the 19th is early voting, right?
Yes, sir. 19th through the 27th.
Yeah, Joe, I want you to stay. I got a couple more questions for you, Joe. I'm gonna have you stay on a little bit unless you got to go.
No, I'm chilling, man. I'm locked in, bro.
Okay. Hey, Rob, man, I'm gonna holler at you. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And stay blessed, man. I wish you success too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Be safe.
All right.
Yeah, Joe. Like I said, I missed the show yesterday with you and Chris.
Yeah.
What was y'all talking about on that show?
Kind of basically the same thing we're going over right now, man. Probably like if you can rewind what I'm saying now, we went into detail just on some finite issues. I went into a lot of the training programs because one of the things Chris was asking about was, what can we be doing to get our kids to the next level, man? We have so many programs that we just aren't promoting right now. And then COVID, of course, threw a monkey wrench and everything. But nevertheless, those programs are still there. And, man, we got to get them out to the students and we got to get them out to the parents, man, because we can turn a really, really big corner if we can get that done.
Now, you said something I didn't even know about. You said something as far as the North End and the South End, they can basically go to LIT for free?
Yeah, bro. Like if they well, because you're theoretically in a different socio economic
disadvantage,
and so there's a certain amount of seats I think reserved for local folks, anyways. And so I know Dr. Howard, the president, was pushing an initiative to really get recruitment up in those areas. Get students from the north and south ends of town into that school and really working on a 2-year degree or certification or something to get them to the next level. And we continue to fall a little bit short, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I just don't know why we continue up to this point.
Okay, so you also said, to go back, you said that 3rd grade, we need to get our math and reading up?
Yes, desperately.
Desperately.
Like no joke, brother. Like I said, I'm always doing research, not to bore you with statistics, but I'll give you one real.
Let me read it.
just a shattering number. So I just gave the condensed version or like the played down version, but when you hear the numbers, it's a tremendous hill to climb. So, for example, the percentage of third grade students that score or meet grade level or above on STAR reading will increase from 25 to 55% by June 2024. But think about we're at 25, only 25% of our third graders are proficient on STAR reading. We have to double plus some that number over the next 4 years. And third grade is a pivotal number for so many reasons. Outside of school district talk, they build prisons based on what third graders do. The third grade population dictates what private prisons do. It's a predictor as to if you're not doing well in third grade, there's a good chance you're gonna visit the walls of a prison. And so same with math. If you're not doing math, it decreases the chances of you working as a professional or paraprofessional somewhere down the line. And for some reason, our kids are way behind in that area. Only 45% of our students are college, career, military ready. Why? I think we've done a poor job promoting the programs and really pushing our children into the programs and almost cornering those parents to say, listen. And by the way, the CTE program, and here's the deal. I had this as a part of my campaign platform. I said, I want to see a middle school or grade school to trade school pipeline. That means when you're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade already, you got to be knowing. And I'm talking everything. Like my job I do for a career is drug and alcohol testing or fit for duty testing. I'm an ARC med. And so when we're testing guys, there's not a lot of young black males coming in to go work in the refineries. 2 reasons. Either they're not passing the drug test or they got drug cases. A drug case scores higher than almost armed robbery. And it's unfortunate that most of our young black males have some type of drug-related case, so it's keeping them out. But see, that comes down to if you know better, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, now you might not want to get high. Now you understand that smoking some weed, it ain't worth it. It's gonna impact your future. And so there's some numbers that we have to get to. We have to go from the number of A or B rated schools. We only have a couple of them, bro. We got 27 campuses. When you talk about elementary, middle, high school, the alternatives, and then early, things of that nature, Taylor Career Center and stuff. We got 30 campuses almost, and I don't even want to tell you the amount that aren't meeting standard.
Do you think the parents need to? You think this all on the teacher, or you think the parents need to start taking time out with their kids too once they get home and help them with
this is the parents, Floyd, because like even me, man, and I understand it gets hard because some nights you're gonna be so tired you ain't got it in you. But some you gotta dig down inside and find it in you and stand with your kids, and it has to be routine because the first time is not and it falls by the wayside, it's hard for us, man. So it's the parents, bro. But once again, even with the CTE programs and stuff like that, we have programs. And let's face it, bro, if you have a child in the district, there's a good chance you went to school in this district too. So, what you're thinking was great when you went to school, that's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't the same as when you was in school, bro. Like, it's just not the same. We've changed. We've fallen on hard times. We've lost. Perfect example, and this is not to talk bad. When we had the board of managers, bro, we lost so many teachers because that was a money operation. The board of managers, they was in here to find the money, save the money, recoup the money, and cut any excessive whatever. So. Quite naturally, when it's a money deficit, the first thing you start doing is cutting.
Yeah.
You got to cut it. Hey, like at your crib, man, it's tight this month. We talk ramen down. You might get you a little Caesars, this little high ready, but ain't gonna be no, ain't gonna be no shrimp. Ain't gonna be no goddamn canes or nothing. When the board of managers was here, that's how it was. Like, we're gonna keep the bare minimum of everything. Well, when them teachers left, they ain't come back.
Yeah. I got Chris. Chris, what you feel about that?
Well, first I'd like to say, bro, it's always a pleasure to be on the Kickback. And especially when we're, just discussing
You
pertinent
definitely kick back right now. You definitely kick back. You got on the muscle team.
Man, I told you I just got in too, bro. I'm for real. Like I'm definitely Kickback right now.
Already.
No, but I definitely agree about what Joe said. I mean, like we're still, you know what I'm saying? We're still recovering from a reduction in force. We're recovering from, a lot of people are talking about the charter school takeover. No, the state takeover is, was a really big issue for not only for the city of Beaumont, but for the school district. And like I said last night with Joe, the school district, BISD, is the circulatory system to the body, which is Beaumont, Texas. And if we have, some blood ailment that, that's affecting our performance, then, that's the issue. That's one of the main issues why we see our population stagnant between 115 and 120,000 individuals. That's why we see 16% out of 74,500 people that's registered to vote in Beaumont, not Jefferson County, Beaumont, 74,000, but to give or take 74,500 individuals are registered and eligible to vote here in the city of Beaumont. And when you have 16% of those individuals that come out for local school board, city elections, and your county judges and your county commission seats, that's where those disparities come from. And I mean, like it plays in the favor of those who take opportunity of your absence, and then it plays in the demise of us who choose not to participate in local politics.
So as far as Joe, he was talking about we have 27 campuses. What about, what's up with the high school campus, man? What's up with BU probably getting, they just won a title, man, and the Central sharing a campus with basically Ozan. You think we could put that into the works? I don't know if they're gonna have to. I don't know if the taxpayers are gonna have to pay for it, but I think the city wants a new high school, man. I think that'd be good for the city.
The problem is this.
I don't know what the problem.
I got an idea too. The problem is this. And this is something else me and Chris talked about last night.
Okay.
And Robert touched on it a little bit too. You have to be patient and very cognizant of taxpayer appetite of bonds or tax
increases. Right.
So, for example, bond and BISD, that's got a bad taste in people's mouth already.
It got a real bad taste.
So then you think about the fact that the order of the day. So I'm so glad I'm not running for city council. The order of the day is infrastructure, bro. That's gonna take some money. So it's a slight chance that the city gonna have to come ask for some money. So you want to see the school board come possibly asking to raise. And the problem with it is, bro, people won't say no. They'll just move away. And that's what we don't need is more people moving away. Because they'll say, man, I can go right down the street and pay less in taxes, blah, 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 and then I have to deal with the drama. So we have to be very patient and remember those goals that we set. If we reach those goals, the private sector will step up and say, let's give them something. The Exxon Mobils will step up and say, STEM needs a new house. The STEM program needs a new place to be housed. And those types of things will happen. And then we got to get with the boy Big Perk. And man, we just won the national, bro. You ain't got to get the money, Perk, but get you and your dog to raise some money, and let's get us another candidate.
Yeah, you got to get the money, Perk. Yeah, you got to give them
I
money.
don't know how
This community poured into you just as much as they pouring in to be you. So yeah, you got to come off that money.
Hit him up,
And
bro.
I mean, like, and if you need some advice on how to recoup that money, it's called a tax write-off, brother. Come on, man. BISD is a nonprofit organization.
Talk your talk, Chris. Talk your talk.
BISD is a nonprofit organization. Any donations to a nonprofit organization is tax deductible. So I mean,
you rain on us.
Yeah, Burke hit up Steven Jackson, hit up all your boys and stuff like that. Make it happen, man. You know, Beaumont.
I mean, it's long overdue. I mean, and don't get me wrong.
We can name the gym after him if he gets
it
done.
Feels real good to
he get the gym named
since 1999, to bring it back home. Since 99 to bring it back to to Beaumont. It feels good. But at the same time, like Joe said, are we producing not only top quality athletes through the state of Texas, but academically, are they competitive for the globe? One, that's number one. Number two is if they are athletically inclined, are they going to any top tier colleges? Are we preparing some of the best top tier college ready individuals that Beaumont and this globe can benefit from? And the honest answer to that is no, we're not, because one, we're not exposing them to that expectation, and two, we're not solely equipping them as a full body community on how to get those or how to access those things. Yeah, Perk, come on. We have individuals that that were athletically inclined when it comes to football. Come back, bring that your resources, bring your access back to Beaumont, because that's what we need. We need your access, and we set you up for that access. So let us walk through you. That's all we asking.
That's all he talking about.
That's all we asking. It's just for access, and that's like I told Joe last night. As my friend, I already felt like I had access through Joe. And I gave Joe access through me, just like I give Floyd access through me. As an elected official, Joe is going to be my access. Period.
Yeah.
Dade is my access. He's not my directly elected, but he's my access.
Hey, let me speak to that too, Chris. You brought it up. So Beaumont also is one of the few districts that the school board districts are actually voted on purely by district. So in other places you got place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 or whatever, but the whole city gets to vote on them. Beaumont is one of the few cities where my district votes me in. But with all that being said, bro, I represent you, period, because I represent your interests, I represent your children, your future, the whole 9 yards. So absolutely, I'm your access. And if I'm blessed to be an officer on the board, I'm even more your access and more your representative. But bottom line is we can't do it if we don't do it together, man. So
I totally agree. And I think that's what Robert was alluding to when he said that he's pretty much access to those that he's in connection with, and we all are. I look at it like this: if you are my friend and you ask me for $100, and I tell you I only got 50, and I give you my 50, that's good. That's access. If you are my elected official, and I ask you for $100, and you tell me no, you are inefficient. If you are my elected official and I ask you for $100, and you tell me give me 5 minutes, and next thing I know I got $500 or $5,000 in coming to me, then you are the access that I'm expecting, and not just for me as an individual, but for me as a people, for me as a community, for Beaumont, the whatever benefits that's on the other side of Becky, we needed that. Whatever benefits is on the other side of Audwin, we need that. Whatever benefits are on the other side of any elected official, whether it's city, state, or county, we need that, and that's the only sole purpose that we elected you, because you showed us a window of access that we needed, and that's our expectations. So I just really hope that, you know, people, instead of looking for a candidate that's going to give you a plan, look for a candidate that's willing to be access to you, willing to receive your plan, and hopefully work with you through building legislation, because that's what governs you.
Right.
Hey, Chris, how do you feel about this election? It's going to be a lot of turnover as far as the council.
Yeah,
I do well, knowing that Mayor Ames is not on the ballot this year. That office is inevitable. That, you know, that there will be new representation there. But the thing about that is I want you guys, and a lot of us may be like, oh well, Becky didn't do nothing. But I really want you. Yeah, that's true, Chris. Expectations. Some people do have high expectations, but when you set a standard, then that's that's reachable, and obtainable. I mean, you formulate unity, but I totally agree. You can't set the expectations too high. But like I was saying, like the it's when you have this type of dynamic that's actually happening within the city. I mean, like I'm you know, not to pat myself on the back. I do. Uh, I love to see AJ. I love to see, you know, Gary. I love to see Kevin. I love to see a lot of young individuals that are my age, and individuals that give me accolades like you, Floyd, to, you know, exposing them to, you know, this arena, and keeping it as transparent as, you know, as I possibly can, and as real as I know how. Because I know that there are some hidden secrets that goes on in politics, you know, that they, you know, and that's the process. But at the same time, you still have to learn it. Now, go back to what you said about the dynamics of this race. I mean, you have, you know, you have, uh, you have, I believe, and again, I'm just looking at what a lot of candidates are saying, and a lot of incumbents are saying. In the mayoral race, you have a medium, and then you have far right, and then you have extreme right, and then from there, from the medium, you also have a candidate that may be left leaning. Um, I would suggest to anybody that you know, that's participating in this local election, to find out about your candidate, one, but find out their values, find out, you know, some of the things that they go to bat for, find out how they address the community, find out how they, you know, interact with the community. There are some elected officials who will I guess sort of kind of belittle us, so to speak, because of the lack of information or the lack of knowledge, and they will throw certain things out in your face to intimidate you, and I guess roll your attendance back from the table. um and and and, and you have to be cognizant of those individuals. When it comes to at large, I mean, like, we have a few discrepancies, I would say, when it comes to, you know, a few of the at-large candidates. I I do, again, I see, you know, extreme far right. I know conservatism when I see it. I've been in it, aware of politics for a long time. I understand conservatism, but I don't understand extreme far right or extreme far left conservatism. And if you are extreme far left or extreme far right conservative, and you are representing the city of Beaumont, there are going to be individuals who are going to be misrepresented in the at-large spectrum. So I want residents to really think about, again, how you want this access. Your mayor is not really your access. Your mayor is your administration, along with the city manager. They appoint and they govern. They they administrate. They make sure she makes sure, or they make sure that the meeting is held according to charter. So does the city manager. They maintain the standard and status of charter. Your at large is your access. Your ward council is your access. So we have two at large councils, and I hear a lot of people, oh, just go vote for one. No. It's two, because whenever I go to address my direct elected and I only voted for one, I'm only addressing one, and that's inoperative. Especially when I'm expecting something to come to agenda, which requires two. And then especially when I need something to pass the council that requires four. So how many people did I just vote? We're going to talk like we in school. How many people did we just vote for?
Joe.
Four.
Joe, he talking about he not. Joe, he said he not a novice.
Yeah,
exactly. He a novice.
Yeah.
You don't sound nothing like no novice talking right now, man.
Right.
I mean, if you put a strain on those four individuals, I mean, are the two that you elect, your two at large, and then you go for your ward, and then you address your mayor and let your mayor know, hey, this is, there's your access. You can't just say, oh, we need a new councilman because we see what they're not doing, but you don't see what your two at large isn't doing. You don't see what your mayor isn't bringing also to the council. So that's a lot, when it comes to deciding on who would be the better access. I'm not looking for a friend in council. I'm not looking for a friend on at large. I'm not looking for a friend in the mayor. I am solely looking for access. If I could present you with plan and projection for the Charlton Pollard Neighborhood Association, especially being that I'm the president, then here, this is what we have for you. If there are certain things that we need to take, not only to Dade Phelan or Joe Desitel, here, this is what I have for them. They are your access, and that's it.
Man, there's a few questions that I forgot to ask. Rob, man, I got Rob out of here a little prematurely and stuff, but I didn't want to hold him up. And Joe, I don't want to hold you up too much longer too. But I got a question. Since you're not running for, since you don't have a opposing candidate, what attributes are they getting from you in District 1? What type of person are they getting as on school board from District 1?
That's sort of get ready, Joe. You remember that?
You're gonna get a lot of passion. You're gonna get a lot of work. You're gonna get a lot of research. You're gonna get a consummate professional from me, man, when it comes to representing your interests on the school board. And so, when I was looking at The Last Dance, and they said about Michael Jordan, it was like nobody was ever better at his job than him. Like when you talk about a 6'6" guard from North Carolina playing in the NBA, nobody was ever gonna be better at him than his job. And that's what the people in District 1 need to know, man. I'm gonna approach it just like that. Play the game to win. Keep our students' best interest out in front. Really, that's the only interest. Really, man, I want y'all to pray for this too, man. I really, the relationship that I need to build with the rest of those school board members and the superintendent is paramount, man. So I've always been proud of myself as a team player and also as a servant leader. And so I look forward to, taking that same mentality to the school board and just work, man. That's just continue to do the work day in, day out. I'm on so many boards, nonprofits, president over at Habitat. Some of that stuff some of them I've turned off of and timed out of, but some of it I really got to put away. Some of my business interests I'm going to put aside, and I'm going to really make a long-term commitment to the school district. A lot of people told me, Joe, you are a political guy, so I know this is going to be a great stepping stone. But for me, this isn't a stepping stone. For me, this is a commitment. And you never know what the Lord wants you to do, but I'm pretty confident that He wants me here, and He wants me here for the duration. And so, what the duration is, I don't know. But every day I wake up and look at ways I can make our students more productive and more competitive on the state and national level. And that's what the people in District 1 will get from me, with a whole lot of access.
Yeah,
very accessible. Call me, and if I don't have the answer for you, like Chris say, let me get back with you and get you 5 answers.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. When my daughter stepped in the room,
yes,
that means Daddy, I want to.
Hey, little princess.
Let's watch something. Let's watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or something. So,
yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming on, Joe, man. I appreciate you stepping in for a few minutes too, Chris, man.
Hey, man, most def, man. Anytime, bro. And
like I said, man,
I see Joe on, I definitely got to be on with my big brother, man. I'm for real.
Yeah, man.
Then Robert Walker is my little brother. The South End, SC4L. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, look, one thing, I like a lot of people know I'm from the North End, and I got pride. I rock with people who got pride from where they from, man. I don't care where you from. If you have pride from where you from, I love that, man. I love people that have pride in where they from and all that type of stuff. I don't care where you from.
One day we're gonna have you and I will link up, and I want to be able to run down the history of the Black North End and the Black South End, and that's history that's eluded from us. One year I ran across it when I was on the internet. I was trying to prove something to somebody, and it was gone. So I definitely want to expose the importance of the Black North End and the Black South End, which is, to me, and history, the start of Beaumont. So I definitely I want to do that one day on the Kikback.
Yeah, we can have lunch one day and we can chop it up.
That's a bet, man.
I'm with that. I'm seriously with that.
Come on, look, Terry Roy talk about Tribe City.
Terry talking about Terry threw that out there for sure. Tribe City. Man, I'm gonna let y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. I appreciate y'all for coming on a Saturday. I'm humbled that y'all
Saturday, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime, bro. You say the word, I'm here.
That's a bet,
right, man. Y'all be blessed, man.
You too, man.
Thanks, bro. Be easy.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So look, that was the show, man. It was a little longer than I wanted to do, but my shows, if the conversation is good, if the vibe was good, then I'm gonna let it rock out. When my daughter stepped into the scene, like she do right now, that means, Daddy, I don't know, you tired? Well, she not tired, so that means she ready to chill out. But next week, I think I got Larry Spears coming on the show. I'm gonna hit him up, make sure it's still good. But I got Larry Spears Jr., mayor of Orange. We go rock out. We go chop it up with all the good things he's doing. Also, if y'all don't know, now you know. You can hit this website link right here, kickbackclothing.com, man. Y'all can check out some dope clothing, dope shirts. I still got hoodies, long sleeve tees, even though it's getting warm, But y'all can check that out. I appreciate everybody that's been buying and rocking out on the clothing. I appreciate everybody that commented on the show. I appreciate everybody that shared the show. But I want y'all to be blessed. Have a safe Saturday. And we go rock out again next Friday, man. So, man, y'all be safe out there and y'all enjoy the weekend. And, Love y'all, man. Peace. Be blessed.